Hello, time for another Man in Gray book review. Today's book is Lincoln, a Photobiography by Russell Freeman, published in 1987 by Houghton Mifflin. It's 160 pages. Starting in 1922, the American Library Association established the John Newbery Medal, an award given to the outstanding children's book of the year before. And in the 102 years since the Newbery Medal was awarded, only 4 times have they given the award to a nonfiction book. This one, Lincoln, a Photo Autobiography, is the last time that a nonfiction book won the Newbery Award. Now, they do have something called the Newbery Honor Books, which are basically runners-up to the main award. And there have been a number of nonfiction books that have won the runner-up category, but only 4 books have actually won only 4 nonfiction books have won the Newbery Award. It's an award that's clearly biased in favor of novels and short stories, fiction books. Of course, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, his life reads like a novel, and a very improbable one at that. Born in a log cabin on the frontier, he had almost no formal education. In fact, probably only Andrew Johnson, his vice president, had less education than Lincoln did. Johnson didn't have any formal education at all. He was illiterate until he was an adult. So Lincoln had almost no education, but he taught himself law, became a prominent lawyer in Springfield, Illinois, and he ran for president on a brand new party, the Republican Party, and against all odds, he won in a 3-way race. And of course, right after he ran, the Civil War broke out, the bloodiest war in American history, so Lincoln had to deal with the worst war in American history. He eventually, of course, won the war. The Confederacy was defeated in 1865, and shortly after that, the slaves were freed when the Constitution was amended. The 13th Amendment was passed to free the slaves, the story of which was told in the popular movie Lincoln. And then, of course, right at the peak of his achievements, he wins the war, he gets reelected, he ends slavery, and then he's assassinated, the first president in history to be murdered while in office. And so his life story reads like a novel. Russell Freeman was a writer who specialized in writing history books for children. Among his other biographies, he wrote biographies of Crazy Horse, Eleanor Roosevelt, the Wright brothers, Martha Graham, and Marian Anderson. And his books on the Wright brothers and Eleanor Roosevelt were Newbery Honor books. Now, this book it's a very straightforward account of Lincoln's life, told in simple language. It's really aimed at kind of middle school students. And, of course, the title implies that there's a lot of illustrations, and there are. There are a lot of photographs in here of Abraham Lincoln. The first one shows him right at the start of his campaign for president. But there are a lot of other photographs of other topics as well. This is a photograph of the interior of the general store that Abraham Lincoln ran as a young man. One of his many business endeavors was to run a general store. And it was fairly successful, but ultimately he closed it down and went into law. And then there's photographs of other people that in Lincoln's family. Here's his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, and 2 of his sons, Willie and Tad. Both of them died at a young age. Only his oldest son, Robert, lived into adulthood. And then there's historical pictures. This is a photograph of the Capitol building under construction during Lincoln's first inaugural address in 1861. Lincoln's down here giving a speech, the first inaugural address. And then there's pictures of Civil War battles. And so if you have very young children, they may be upset by some of this. These are some dead bodies photographed by Matthew Brady at the Battle of Antietam, which to this day is the bloodiest single day of warfare in American history. More Americans died during the Battle of Antietam than in any other one-day battle. And then here's a photograph of Lincoln's handwritten copy. You see, it's right over here. Lincoln's handwritten copy of the Gettysburg Address, which he wrote out the day before he gave it at Gettysburg. And then the book, of course, includes with his assassination. This is a etching from Harper's Weekly, a very popular magazine of the day, showing the assassination scene. Here's John Wilkes Booth fleeing, jumping off the balcony and fleeing breaking his leg and fleeing the stage. And the book concludes with a short section of quotes from Abraham Lincoln. So it's a really thoroughly well done biography of Abraham Lincoln. So if you got kids who like to read, but they only read fiction, they read fantasy or science fiction or romance. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But if you want to get your kids interested in reading nonfiction books, particularly about history, this is a really excellent book to begin with because Lincoln's life is so famous. He is one of the most written about people in human history, and he's certainly the most written about American of all time. So there's a lot of books about Lincoln, but this one is a really good one aimed at middle school and slightly older children, and it did win the Newbery Award. So if you're interested in history, or if you have kids that are interested in history, you want to get them interested in reading history, this is a really good place to start. The book is Lincoln, a Photo Biography. The author is Russell Freeman. This has been another Man in Gray book review. Thanks for watching.